Today on eNEWS, how the COVID-19 pandemic has halted education, research, and community activities. Plus, ways to practice social distancing and a few fun activities to beat the boredom.
Hello, and welcome to eNEWS. I'm Heather Grande, reporting from home.
Hello, I'm Kevin Forsyth, working from home as well to bring you today's top stories. After the World Health Organization declared COVID-19 a worldwide pandemic, governments around the world are suggesting their citizens begin practicing social distancing. Joshua Shuning has more.
It's a setting that some consider to be quite eerie. Empty streets, empty stores, all in an effort to flatten the curve of COVID-19. Citizens of Lethbridge and others across Canada have banded together in efforts to slow down the spread of coronavirus by practicing social distancing. Although social distancing may be a solid effort in order to combat the virus, social distancing has been a bit of a problem for others. For heavy equipment technician Brennan Clemens, work has had some difficult changes adjusting to the fight against COVID-19.
It has affected our productivity. We are not able to bring in as many units to fix as usual.
Between making sure every surface is clean and disinfected and working on heavy-duty machines, Clemens had shown a symptom of the virus, leaving him unfit to do his duties at work.
So I will be put under EI and receiving much less than I'm usually supposed to be getting.
Only time will tell to see how long this COVID-19 crisis will last, but for now it's important to stay inside and only go outside when absolutely necessary. For eNEWS, I'm Joshua Shuning.
The WHO says that effective social distancing includes remaining at least 6 feet apart from others and only leaving the house if absolutely necessary.
Information and misinformation is flying around about the COVID-19 pandemic. In times like this, rumor and misinformation can lead to undue public hysteria. I put together some examples of how this can affect people's choices. People are taking to their homes and refraining from going out unless absolutely necessary, as the COVID-19 outbreak sweeps across the globe. Recently, post-secondary institutes across the country have closed their classrooms and opted for online learning instead. Lethbridge College is one of the institutes that closed its doors. Senior communications specialist Paul Kingsmith says the college has been doing plenty to help ensure the information it puts out is sound.
I think a pandemic situation like this, where there is so much information coming at you all the time from so many different angles, it just emphasizes even more how important it is that you know where information is coming from. This is an environment where it's easy to get misinformation, it's easy to get people's opinions mixed up with what is actual information.
Kingsmith, a former journalist, says people have to seek out a trustworthy source and learn how to fact-check their information. Lethbridge maintenance worker Nicholas Martin says he had his workflow and hours changed due to COVID-19. Martin adds he's had to learn how to seek out trustworthy sources of information.
Whenever I do get information about the COVID-19, I usually look it up again after the fact, after I've seen something. So just to double check to make sure that the information that I am getting is not false.
When looking up information on COVID-19, use trusted sources such as government websites or your local news stories. For eNEWS, I'm Heather Grande.
When looking for information on COVID-19 and school cancellations, school officials say to use your school's website or alberta.ca/coronavirusinfo for Albertans.
Schools all across the province were told to shut down due to the coronavirus. With the growing numbers across the province and country, Alberta officials decided to put safety as a top priority during the crisis. Kelsey O'Donnell is standing by to bring us more on that story. Kelsey?
With the rising concern of the COVID-19 pandemic, the University of Lethbridge had no choice but to close its doors to students and staff to keep safety as a top priority. I had the chance to meet up with some people who have been affected by the situation. For students, staff, and faculty at the University of Lethbridge, the institution has changed from the busy hustle and bustle of the school year to a deserted campus. On March 13th, the university announced it would be canceling all classes due to the announcement made by the government officials the day before, saying there should be no gatherings of more than 250 people. Due to large class sizes, the university had to take all measures to obey the government's wishes. Later that day, the university announced it would be changing its class delivery to alternative methods. Third-year psychology student Courtney Dinwiddie said the transition to alternative class models hasn't been as nice as she hoped.
I understand it and I get it, and I think that it's smart, but coming from a student's perspective, I think that it makes learning a lot more difficult, and it makes finishing the semester harder on us.
However, students aren't the only ones affected by the coronavirus outbreak. After the government of Alberta declared a state of emergency on March 17th, all employees were encouraged to work from home whenever possible. Financial Officer of the Fine Arts Department, Margot Aasman, said she is happy to see the university encouraging the community to self-isolate.
In most cases, we're all learning to function in a different locality, and I think it's great that the community's come together and realized how important it is that we all isolate ourselves.
Aasman has since relocated her work to continue her duties from home, something she says everyone who is able should be doing in order to help stop the spread and encourage self-isolation. Alberta has seen a rapid growth of cases throughout the province, with now 358.
The number of coronavirus cases has surpassed 1 million and is expected to continue climbing. Communities are told to continue practicing social distancing and only leave home for necessities. The COVID-19 crisis is changing daily life as we know it around the world and at home. Classes are canceled and many non-essential businesses have closed or reduced their services drastically. While many schools, colleges, and universities have switched to online delivery for students, important research at other institutions continues. As I found out, the U of L is just one example of that.
The normally bustling halls of Alberta's post-secondary schools have gone silent, along with much of the world. And although there are not many people here, the U of L campus is still open, for now. For researchers in the Brain in Action Lab, things have changed quickly and drastically. Mariel Rodriguez-Bellizia studies motor and sensory processes in children and adults. She says all research involving human subjects has been halted because of safety concerns over the virus.
So we have to stop suddenly, which means that a lot of projects will stay uncompleted until new notice.
Rodriguez-Bellizia moved to Lethbridge from Mexico to complete a master's degree in neuroscience. Both her parents are doctors back home, and she's concerned for their well-being.
My parents are both over 50 years old. I am worried about them, and especially since the government is not taking the same measurements that Canada is having.
Lara Coelho is a PhD student in the lab. She's isolating herself right now because she came into contact with a friend who came into contact with someone who tested positive for COVID-19.
I have a friend that I work out with, and she thinks that she actually came into contact with someone in Medicine Hat who had it. And so she got tested because she was feeling symptoms.
Coelho is feeling normal so far. Once she completes her self-isolation, she plans to return home to Salt Spring Island, where she can continue her work online. As for Rodriguez-Bellizia, she plans to stay in Lethbridge for the time being.
Stay home, don't go out, avoid crowds.
Rodriguez-Bellizia says she hopes the crisis does not last long and she can return to regular work in the lab. Kevin Forsyth, eNEWS.
Other important research still being conducted across the country despite social distancing and self-isolation direction are projects aimed at developing a vaccine for COVID-19.
Coming up after the break, see how school closures have affected students, teachers, and parents. Plus, learn how a high school senior is feeling, knowing he won't walk the halls of his school again. Stay with us.
When I first heard about Windy City Canine Rescue, I was a little hesitant to rescue a dog with them. I hadn't heard much about the organization, and since they didn't have a location, I was really worried about finding time to actually meet the pet. But they were super helpful throughout the entire process, even though they work on a volunteer basis. And that's when I actually met JC here, and for the better part of a year, JC and I have been inseparable.
Call Windy City Canine Rescue or search them on Facebook to rescue a dog today.
The Lethbridge Food Bank supports those in need. You can too. By donating food, you're helping the Lethbridge Food Bank achieve its goals. The Lethbridge Food Bank depends on the donations to help change and support the cause of those in need. Cash donations are also accepted through their website at lethbridgefoodbank.ca. Donating cash makes it possible to maintain the quality of the Lethbridge Food Bank's food supply. Donate today because everyone deserves to be fed.
So the Amethyst Project is a 24/7 project that supports women, men, children who has experienced sexual violence.
The goal of the Amethyst Project is to help people begin to heal by offering education, advocacy, trauma-informed support, and non-judgmental information about options available for anyone who has experienced sexual violence, whether recently or in the past. Contact the YWCA today.
COVID-19. It's all we talk, think, or hear about, so it only makes sense to talk about it now. Hi, I'm Tiana, and today I'm going to talk about the best and worst parts about self-isolation. Now, first of all, I'm not going to lie. There is nothing I like more than canceling plans on a Saturday night, and with bars and restaurants closed, I can do so without any social repercussions. Secondly, delivery services are already offering contactless delivery, but now they're doing so without any delivery fees. And for somebody that orders food way too often, this is a huge bonus for me. And thirdly, when I'm shopping in the grocery store and somebody comes up right beside me and is standing way too close, I can give them the look without any judgment. Actually, I don't think I have any negatives about self-isolation. If you need me, I'll be on my couch in my pajamas. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, Tiana. Nice to see you're handling these challenging times so well. The Alberta government has shut down all schools, daycares, and cancelled in-person classes at post-secondary institutions due to the unprecedented threat of COVID-19. Riley Kubik has the story on how this will impact students, teachers, and parents.
That is why, effective immediately, the Emergency Management Cabinet Committee has approved my recommendation that students no longer attend classes in schools or post-secondary institutions until further notice.
Alberta's Chief Medical Officer of Health, Dr. Dina Hinshaw, announced Sunday that the province would be cancelling all K-12 public school classes. Teachers at Mike Mountain Horse Elementary School heard the news the same time the public did and returned to quiet, empty hallways on Monday morning.
When I heard the news, I was in disbelief at first. I didn't really think schools would actually close, even though they were in other parts of the country. You kind of go in a bit of denial that it's not going to happen in our area. So it was just really kind of shocking at first, and something I've never experienced in my career and no one here has. So.
Without much time to prepare, teachers began constructing online learning plans for their students, something completely foreign to most elementary school curriculum.
There was a lot of learning yesterday, just trial and error, playing around with the software that we have to work with. That's going to happen a little bit even more today, I think. And then, next week, doing the videos, recording ourselves, having the materials available, and then getting ready to post those for kids.
Though teachers will struggle with the task of finishing the school year online, there is a silver lining. Both students and teachers will be learning new digital skills that will prepare them for the future.
It's all very, very new. And I think there can be some positive come out of all of this.
For eNEWS, I'm Riley Kubik.
Students will be out of face-to-face classes until further notice. Until then, teachers will continue to work in schools while maintaining social distancing. Curriculum will be delivered to students online.
Due to the health threat posed by the novel coronavirus, Lethbridge College halted face-to-face classes and switched to delivering content to students online. This change is impacting international students' economic and educational status. Manjeet Kaur reports.
This international student from India didn't expect that her last semester at Lethbridge College would end this way. She says she misses the college community and in-person classes. Sukhveer Kaur says that due to the coronavirus, there is a huge change in the education system. Students attend classes online and make assignments in their home.
We are enjoying online classes and our instructors are very helpful. They put all the information online and they also shared a videos which encourage students to keep on track on the study.
Most of the time, students stay at home. They do lots of indoor activities like watching TV and cooking. Another international student, Tejpal Kaur, says the COVID-19 has also affected her working hours.
It really affecting the individual, personal's life, working life, like financial, economic, all the stuff. But for being an international student, so working is the only source of income. Due to the shutdown of all the restaurants and all the malls, our working hours get reduced and we have nothing to do with this.
Homes are a safe place for students. Stay safe and healthy at home until any further notification from college and Alberta Health Services. Manjeet Kaur, eNEWS.
Lethbridge College says it's doing whatever it can to support its international students through this unsettling time. That includes providing access to safe housing and counseling.
The COVID-19 pandemic has brought the world to a sudden stop and left millions with confusion and anxiety. Senior high school students are one of the main groups losing out on key memories they will never get back. Verloop reports.
We're definitely going to be missing out on all the fun and excitement that's around grad, but it's what we got to do.
With the COVID-19 pandemic taking a toll on the everyday life of people globally, perhaps the most in limbo are high school seniors. They are left without the memories of their last year of high school, their graduation ceremonies and celebrations. Those last few days of school that happened in mid-March could very well be the last time students ever see their classmates. Current grade 12 student in Tabor, Josh Verloop, says he feels like he has taken his education for granted in the past and will cherish the memories he has made.
I definitely realized that the experiences I was having, I thought it was just school, whatever, but now that it's gone, it's something I'm going to miss.
Verloop says with diploma exams not being required to graduate, it will reduce a ton of stress. However, he will need time to get used to it. This pandemic will not only affect students, it will also affect teachers and those in university to enter the field. Fifth-year University of Lethbridge student Yenner Tia is currently majoring in kinesiology in hopes of becoming a gym teacher eventually and works at the Boys and Girls Club in Lethbridge. He says he wasn't expecting his life to change in an instant.
I wasn't expecting to be a stay-at-home dad in like 2 days or 3 days. At least I could have got a warning.
Tia says amidst of all the chaos that revolves around his school, job, and home life, he is just going to enjoy his time with his family. Verloop, eNEWS.
Verloop says he will still celebrate with his classmates once he is able to, but it'll never meet his expectations of how his grad year was supposed to go. Coming up after the break, you'll see how COVID-19 has affected sports and local bands. But you'll also learn some fun ways to stay entertained during isolation. Stay with us.
The Lethbridge Therapeutic Riding Association offers an alternative form of therapy using horses to help individuals with special needs, all designed to help achieve mental and physical health. Our horses and riders are matched up to create the perfect partnership for each individual's specific needs. With the help from our equine partners, students can achieve behavioral, social, and communication goals. Thanks to the Lethbridge Therapeutic Riding Association, riders experience a sense of mobility and independence they don't otherwise feel in their everyday life.
Mission Thrift Store is a Christian-based nonprofit organization that helps spread the word of God in local communities, as well as in over 40 countries worldwide, all of which are supported by your generous donations. All donations are converted into cash and invested in leadership and literacy programs in over 40 countries. Donation hours are Monday to Saturday from 10 a.m. till 4 p.m. For more information, visit Lethbridge Mission Thrift Store or visit their website at missionthriftstore.com.
The Lethbridge and District Humane Society is a sanctuary for pets in need of a forever home. As a no-kill organization, they provide shelter for animals in need. But they need donations and volunteers from the community to help ensure they provide the best quality care. To find out how you can help, contact or visit the Lethbridge and District Humane Society today.
Friendship is the key to living a happy life. The LSCO Community Center provides a place for individuals 35 and up to get out, socialize, and live an active, healthy life.
So LSCO is a great place to come. We have lots of fun here. You meet lots of people.
With already 2,500 members and growing, the LSCO wants to make a difference in your life.
Our adoption process is fairly simple. For dogs, there is an application process. It's not particularly invasive.
Ever feeling lonely sitting at home by yourself? What's better than adopting a new friend? Come into the animal shelter to find yourself some company, whether it's a dog or a cat. Here at the shelter, we want to help find animals a loving, responsible home. Our facilities are all about finding the right home for the animals. Check out our website.
Welcome back. With COVID-19 taking over the world these last couple of weeks, all sports activities have been shut down. Professional and amateur sport leagues have decided to close their doors and suspend their seasons. Some Lethbridge College teams have seen their playoffs wiped out. Michael Cake had a look into the pandemic's effects on teams, athletes, and fans.
The sports world has taken a huge hit these last couple of weeks as fans will not be able to watch some of their favorite leagues anytime soon. With some leagues like the NBA, NHL, and MLB suspending their season long term, fans have to revert to playing video games to help them through their withdrawals.
Like, I've been playing a lot of 2K, just like throughout the day and stuff, because, without being able to watch the games, it's kind of all I've had to do every night, so obviously that's helped a lot.
Tribuck says it's been boring without sports, as sports video games become repetitive to him after a while. He says he has been watching past games on his laptop to help out with the situation. With his favorite game he has watched so far being the Miami Heat versus San Antonio Spurs, playing in Game 6 of the NBA Finals in 2013, because Ray Allen hit one of the greatest shots of all time.
Rebound box, back out to Allen, his three-pointer, bang! Tie game with 5 seconds remaining!
The pandemic has not only affected the fans, however, as the athletes are being taken away from the sports they love. The Lethbridge College futsal teams had their season cancelled due to the risk of coronavirus. Captain of the men's team, Jimmy Bukuru, was shocked by the cancellation.
I never thought it would get cancelled because I know the virus just started up, and I was hoping that it wouldn't be cancelled.
Bukuru adds he was excited to play the Alberta Colleges Athletics Conference tournament as the Kodiaks had fallen short the last 2 seasons. He says it was great to get out of the house to practice with the team before the virus, saying that he misses the sport and bonding with his teammates. With the end of the pandemic being unknown, fans and athletes may have to wait a long time to see the outcome of their leagues. For eNEWS, I'm Michael Cake.
For more information about symptoms, treatment, and ways to get tested for COVID-19, visit the Government of Canada's dedicated section about the virus.
With just over 1 million cases worldwide, the COVID-19 virus has changed the lives of many. Some changes include social distancing and self-quarantines. Justin Parkin took a look at some activities people have taken part in to keep their minds and bodies healthy.
Personally, I've been catching up on all of my sleep as well as watching everything on Netflix. Thankfully, I've also done some research on what are some of the best activities to do during the COVID-19 self-quarantine, and here's what I found. With the spring sun shining more and more, the days become longer and there's nothing better than spending time with friends. However, due to the recent COVID-19 outbreak, people now have to entertain themselves from the comfort of their own homes. Well, thankfully, there are plenty of hobbies and activities that can help stop the boredom being faced in self-isolation. Located in over 300 locations in Lethbridge are hidden boxes and hanging containers scattered around by the locals. These boxes are known as geocaches and allow locals to become treasure hunters. The process of geocaching starts on either a computer or a smartphone on the geocaching app or website. To go geocaching, all one must do is look at the map to find a geocache location. Then they must go out onto the adventure to find the geocache you choose to hunt. Another activity that is helping people cope with social distancing is reading. Reading can allow people to immerse their brain into other, sometimes impossible worlds and escape the boredom of social isolation. Student Loryn Cobb says reading is the perfect activity for self-isolation due to the fact that it is easy stimulation for the brain.
If we didn't have video games, if we didn't have the internet, if we didn't have TV, what would we be doing? So reading, it's like, it keeps your brain busy.
The final activity that will help brighten up your day during social distancing is the art of plant growth. Growing plants indoors can sometimes be a challenge due to sunlight. However, an open window will provide plenty of sunlight to grow common household veggies like radishes. Growing plants indoors allows people to connect with Mother Nature while staying inside their house. As well, growing fresh produce provides a sense of clarity and simplicity in life. The simple yet beautiful look of fresh plants and produce will help make the days stuck inside feel more like days outside. Those were just some of the activities that people can do during self-quarantine. Other activities include things like crafts, walks, video games, painting, and the relaxing duties of spring cleaning.
These activities are cheap and easy examples of things to do during this time of social distancing and self-isolation.
With COVID-19 spreading around the globe and cities facing closure, musicians and local venues are having to find alternative ways to support artists and small businesses. Tyler Hay reports.
This familiar scene will not be found again in the near future. Business closures caused by the COVID-19 pandemic are taking a toll on local and touring musicians. Cancelled gigs are forcing artists to find alternative means of connecting with their fans. Guitarist for local rock band Biloxi Parish, Taryn Duncan, says he has been watching other musicians stream shows online.
But it just kind of gets you, out of your own head about this kind of situation, and you're able to just kind of sink into the music for, whether it be 10 minutes, half an hour, or whatever, just kind of escape into that. Get about one of the scary times we're in.
Social distancing and calls for the public to stay home have led to uncertainty for small business owners. Co-owner of the Owl Acoustic Lounge, Stephen Foord, says he is optimistic but uncertain about the future of his business. He says though he is worried about what social dynamics may look like when restrictions are lifted, he will do anything he can to keep the business alive.
It's obviously a huge deal, and a big part of getting through it is just not panicking, right?
Foord says he does not know when the Owl will be able to open again, but he hopes it's sometime in the summer. Meanwhile, he hopes to set up streaming shows with local artists such as Biloxi Parish. Duncan says he and his bandmates are using the time to be creative. They will record their second album in May.
But it's still things we love, so at the end of the day, even though there's all this craziness happening in the world, it's still nice to just pick up my guitar and be able to play and kind of sink into that for a little bit of time.
Tyler Hay, eNEWS.
It is unclear how long social distancing will have to be in effect to stop the spread of COVID-19. Duncan and his bandmates say you can support local businesses by buying local when you are stocking up for isolation, streaming musician shows, and buying albums. Well, that's all the time we have for our remote edition of eNEWS. I'm Heather Grande.
And I'm Kevin Forsyth. Thanks for welcoming us into your homes as we welcome you into ours. Stay safe and healthy, everyone.